videos where you have an officer basically around the neck area.
These two retired Vegas cops now podcast hosts.
They don't have ID, they can't get into a hotel room.
To get them the help they need, especially if someone even gets arrested. A lot of people don't know how the justice system works.
You guys have going on is necessary, it's needed.
Hey everybody, this is David Kohlmeier, the Problem Solver. Thanks so much for joining us today, Thursday at 4:30, whenever we get into our seats here. Welcome so much to the show. Again, the Problem Solver, the goal is to solve problems, to come up with creative ideas and suggestions to help people in Las Vegas or anywhere in the world these days. We're trying to help people. As usual, my favorite co-host, I have Danny Miner on my right.
Thank you, Dave. Let's go.
And then we have beautiful Beja Rivera.
Thank you, Dave. Let's talk about it.
And today we have a special guest, which is Dr. Brady Powell with Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance, which is a lot to say. Well, welcome, Dr. Brady.
Thank you. Good to be here with everybody. Excited to talk and figure out some solutions here.
You know what? That is a long name.
That is a little name.
Yeah, it's a little wordy.
So here's the situation.
Spell that for me. Write that down.
So this is the first time that Dr. Brady, do you like going by Dr. Brady, Dr. Powell?
Either's fine.
Too commercialized?
Yeah,
or?
Brady, Dr. Brady,
I like the
Dr.
doctor.
Powell,
I like Dr. Brady.
I answer at anything pretty
Got it.
much. So.
Yeah.
So
I like Dr. Brady too.
I like Dr. Brady. It kind of rhymes. So Dr. Brady's here. This is the first time that we've ever had a physical therapist. And, you know, some people say, like, you know, on the Problem Solver, we have different people. Like, what are we talking about? Is it going to be exciting? We have superfan Steve saying, you know, is it going to be the most exciting thing in the world to have a physical therapist
Or we
on here?
fell asleep on this show.
So we have two major superfans. We have superfan Steve and we have
Gaudiano.
Gaudiano.
His last name's Gaudiano, so we call him God. But his
God,
favorite
all right.
host is without a doubt Beja. He doesn't even see us. He just
Hey,
sees
God.
Beja.
Just focuses
I
over
see
there.
Yes, that's it.
If Beja's
Thank you, by the
not
way.
here for the day, he doesn't turn on these guys.
No, I'm sure he's watching. Hi, God.
So so we have some super fans that are out there in general, but the goal is to really learn about
Actually,
you.
speaking of super fans, I totally forgot. This morning,
Who do you got?
my brother, he's out in Texas time. What are they? An hour, 2 hours?
You're 2 hours ahead.
Yes,
yeah.
2 hours ahead. So he's like, can't wait to tune in. How do you guys even decide what you're going to talk about? So he's been waiting since this morning. Shout out my brother Bobby. Thank you for watching. And kiss my nieces for me.
Brother Bobby. Welcome, Brother Bobby.
Brother Bobby.
We can always, so one of the things we do too is, if someone wants to come on and do a Zoom, we can basically do Zoom as well. So if Brother Bobby want to come in, or God, or superfan
Let's
Steve.
talk about it.
Get 'em on.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Actually, one of the things we have, and this is something new, is if you go to the problemsolver.vegas, we have a spot where it's for like onboarding and for guests, and the Zoom link is there. Technically, I was thinking our engineers listening, technically, if the Zoom is up and someone goes into the room, we'd be able to see them. So if someone wants to go to the problemsolver.vegas while we have this live and they want to Zoom in live, we can basically take them out of the Zoom room and put them on the screen and we can talk to them. So
Eventually,
That'd be
we just
fun.
need to do that and have people just calling in to ask questions about their problems, right?
yeah, absolutely. So, some people actually in different programs, actually, tomorrow morning, actually, I'm going to be on radio at the 8:31 in the morning with Alan Stock, which is AM radio. And he spoke to me the other day that he used to have a show where people would call in. And in the beginning of the Problem Solver, we did have that. And then some people would call and do like shout outs. And I mean, I guess it depends upon the topic and who's on the show. But I guess for now, we can have the Zoom basically room available. If anyone wants to pop in the Zoom, I feel like it's like one of these chat rooms. They can jump in the room, and if they're in the room, we could basically say, hey, someone's in the room, and then we can go live with them, right? Travis? Yeah. Travis, our engineer, saying.
Okay, here we go. No problem. Yeah, we could do that. I have it loaded up right now. Currently, we have a whopping 0 people waiting, but that's just because you said that. It takes a couple seconds before it hits the air.
So if God...
Why don't we have a camera that faces you?
Then I'd be the whole show.
You're like,
he already has a show.
I would have super fans,
you know what? Shout out to him.
Listen,
Thanks, Jason.
Gaudiano just texted me. He
wants to
said
come on?
he does not know if he could keep it. I told him he got to keep it PG.
No, I mean, he can talk about anything.
Yeah, but he's bad.
If he wants to hop on, tell him to come on. Tell him to come onto
Wait,
the room.
he's asking us to keep it PG?
No, him. He doesn't know if he could keep it PG.
Oh,
so
no,
that's
this
why he
is-
doesn't. So
This is the great thing about us
The
talking.
podcast.
Exactly.
Yes.
Let's get as vulgar as we fucking want to.
God, get on the Zoom. Go to Problem Solver.
So the truth is, you can see anything you want because it's on social media in general. For TV, it's a little bit different when we film TV. So anything can go in general, and I guess some people like it, some people don't. But we just kind of go with the flow. But anyway, anyone wants to come into the Problem Solver, I'm about to say chat room, the Problem Solver Zoom room. It's the Zoom room, right?
Zoom room.
It's 118. No.
So if God wants to go in there, if Superfan Steve, we're putting it out there. I think it's something good that we'll do. You know, the difference with this, when people call in, they can hide. Now you see their face. But technically, we could just do audio as well, right? I think they can click the button, whether it's just audio.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to show their face. They don't want
Exactly. So if you want to just do audio, just Zoom is the way to do it. Anyway, I think it's a new thing that we're going to start doing.
I feel like I had to say something else.
Go for it.
Speaking of people hiding their faces, there's just a lot of people talking shit behind social media. You know, they always have something to say. You got something to say? Show your face.
Yeah, you should show your face, I think.
And if you don't want to show your face, you can still do the audio. Or we have something as well, which is called like kind of the rant. It's really like if you have a problem or rant on the Problem Solver Vegas, you can go there and actually upload an audio clip. You could be anonymous as well. We can play the audio clip, so it's something new. We're trying to, do some different
Even
things.
with the Crime Stoppers, crime
Solvers.
solvers. Yes, being anonymous. If you want to give us a tip, if you have any information, yes, you can be anonymous.
And Brady, what she's talking about is that we've had some things going on recently. We're working with local law enforcement. We have right now this body in the barrel situation, which is in Lake Mead. We're trying to basically help out as the problem solver to, it's not solving the problem, it's really identifying who that person could be.
Yeah.
That's one thing we
It's
got going
problem
on.
solving.
That's true. And then the other thing we have going on is there's a crazy guy basically shooting horses up at Red Rock.
Wow.
Once a month, he's shooting a horse close range.
Who would do that?
A serial horse killer is the person that's doing it. We don't know who it is.
Wow.
The bounty right now is at $11,000. The Problem Solver Show is actually looking to acquire a bounty hunter to actually locate this individual, which should be interesting. I think there'll be a movie about that situation.
Brady, you have some military experience.
You wanna go out there or
You
what?
can shoot somebody far range.
Well, I
right
run
now.
out at Red Rock a lot, so if I see
Okay.
anybody out there, then I'll, I'll
it's
get you guys
kind-
some
You
info.
are a
I'll
runner.
take some pictures and videos, yeah.
It's that the only problem is it is at nighttime that the guy's doing this. So like,
I run at night too.
Do you run at night?
Yeah, I'm one of those crazy people that runs in the desert for fun.
You
What's
probably
the
didn't-
longest? What's the longest distance you've ran?
I've done a few marathons. I've done some 26 milers, and sometimes I just run out in the desert, out at Red Rock, Calico, and wherever I can find a trail just to have some fun, find adventure.
How late do you go?
I mean, I've gone sometimes at 9, 10 at night, as early as 4 or 5 in the morning. So sometimes
Are you
it's
ever
been pitch
nervous?
dark. I've gotten lost out there when I run. I'm like, wait, where's the canyon I'm looking for? And I'm out there 30 minutes just wandering around looking for
Do
the
you have
right
service
trail.
on your phone? Do you take your phone?
Some places I get service, but you see the lights of the city, so I always know which direction to
Follow
go to.
the light.
Yeah, so if I can't find my trail, I'm like, all right, I know if I go back east, I'll hit the
That could be a
the
good
city
excursion,
again.
like get lost with a physical therapist in the mountains.
Yeah, exactly. I've been thinking about starting a little YouTube channel or something.
The biggest thing that would scare
exploring.
me, and what about
the
the
animals.
rattlesnakes?
I've seen a few rattlesnakes.
I mean, especially you can't see them in the dark. You can step on them. I mean,
yeah, you can. I've almost stepped on a couple
I
rattlesnakes.
bet.
so
Oh my,
it's-
especially in the summer.
It makes it more fun when you find some wildlife. So, but if I see anybody with guns shooting horses, then yeah, I'm gonna.
All right.
Fun in your mind, I don't play that shit, so you'll never catch me out there. How crazy would it be if you really found this guy, though?
Yeah.
The problem with it is if you go out there, you're gonna need to. It's gonna be like a battle. I mean, you're gonna need like this guy has a firearm. I mean, you're gonna need. I was about to say you need a long rifle.
And he's more. He did this short range, so.
Yeah,
It's not a good situation. I wouldn't recommend
Is
it.
it the same person he's shooting the same horses like that owns by the same guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's a
basically.
vendetta.
It's got to be a grudge. Yeah,
I
you're-
swear.
he's not just doing that. He has a grudge against
What
it.
is, how many
Has to be.
horses is he
Four.
killed?
Four.
Four,
So
okay.
what was it?
one a month.
But we're almost in August. But it was
Yeah.
January, February, and then June, July.
I mean, basically it's one a month.
Or-
I don't know the exact date, so
One a
I'm
month,
trying to work
alright.
on it a little bit.
Huh.
But our thing is, he might try to kill someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he might want to just take it up a notch.
So be careful.
Yeah.
No, I'm for a military guy, so
Yeah.
I can run fast, I can hide, I can sneak up on people.
Do you ever go
You
to?
look so sweet, though.
Well, yeah, I
He's
mean,
deadly.
if somebody's in trouble or somebody's messing around, then
Do you go to Red Rock?
We get the job done. Yeah,
He
I go out to
does.
Red Rock.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm,
I run out
I'm contemplating how we're going to use this guy.
I've ran out on a
Right.
lot of the trails there, not all of them. I mean, there's a ton of trails out there. Also across the street, those
Okay.
cowboy trails, there's a lot out there as well.
Well, that's where it is, the
So-
Cowboy Ranch over there.
Yeah, the Cowboy
And it's
Ranch
a little
right
bit, what do you call
across.
that, like an enclave?
Yeah.
You go in,
So it
that's
goes
the
back
location.
and it splits apart into several different trails.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Maybe we should go out with him.
I'll go
When
out
it's-
with him.
But the thing is a little too hot right now, but it is at nighttime.
I'll be behind the scenes.
Yeah,
we'll make sure we
I'll
have
go out with
service.
anybody that wants to go and explore. And,
Yeah.
I don't run, I mean, I can run fast, but I generally
Oh,
just
these
can't-
guys are definitely not going to run with you.
But I go
carry
slow.
us?
I go slow. Anybody that wants to go, I'm like,
I'll
hey,
go.
we'll go a slow pace. We'll have some fun. You can get headlights on. And, yeah, it's
Nobody
cool.
laughs at me.
It's fun climbing on some rocks. And
It's like a horse serial killer excursion.
Yeah.
Walk.
Yeah.
Walk and run. Walk and run, or hopping.
Until you
Hip hop.
have to run. Walk until you have to run.
Anyway,
mountain
so
lion.
But you got to stop, explore things, lift up some rocks,
Got it.
find some cool things. So it's not just running the whole time. We have some fun with it too. So
all right,
He
so
was- go ahead.
Good. Anyway, so all right, so let's just jump into things. So we're solving different problems, we're helping different people. So the physical therapy, we haven't had anyone on the show, so I want to basically talk about it because I think people get confused. Now Beja and myself, even Danny, we've worked in the legal and medical community, and I think that we still would probably say, like, when do you need a physical therapy compared to a chiropractor? Should you be going to a physical therapy first if you're involved in an accident, you're injured? So anyway, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us a little bit of your background, and you got some military as well. Tell us about that.
yeah, so I joined the military when I was a senior in high school, about 18 years old. Did a couple tours, one tour overseeing the Middle East. So got shot at a little bit over there. I was doing some college, but I hadn't got my bachelor's, hadn't got my degree yet, so I knew nothing about physical therapy, rehabilitation, what to do if you get hurt or if you're in pain. I played some sports growing up, so I was always pretty active. And I was over in Iraq for a year. One time I was lifting up this up-armored Humvee door, which I'm sure was 100 and something plus pounds, and my back went out. And I was just bent over like a little old man, like an 80-year-old guy, like for 4 or 5 days. I could barely even straighten up my back. And I went into the doctor that was in charge of our battalion to try to get some help. And he's like, "Hey, here's some ibuprofen. Just take this." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what's the deal? This is gonna just help me with my symptoms."
How do we get to the root of my back issue?
Yeah, it's not gonna solve the problem. And so he was just like, "Here's ibuprofen. Just take that, and you'll be all right." And so I was kind of like, okay. So, I mean, my back got a little better, but every month or two, my back would go out for a few days or a week or two, and I was just in a lot of pain. And so it was really frustrating because I never got any treatment for my back, and I had I hadn't done any of my graduate training at that time. So I didn't know what to do. And it wasn't until later on, after I finished my bachelor's, went to PT school, and then my back was just on and off hurting me a lot. So then I kind of figured out once I got out of my training, I was like, hey, I better take care of my own back. I'm a therapist, so I should be able to figure this out. And then I started working on just, some core strengthening, working on, getting some of the larger core muscles stronger. Also, there's a lot of smaller core muscles that we help people train. So I started doing that. I started working on my posture, started working on how I lift and bend, with body mechanics. And my back pain has gone away completely. So it's 100%, no issues.
Yeah, our body is like a machine, everything has to work together. And so that's what made you passionate about becoming a physical therapist?
Right, exactly.
Rehabilitating
so I
yourself.
kind of knew how to, help my own, back and my own problems. And so I said, hey, there's a lot of people out there. Like when I was in the military, I never got any help. I never got any treatment. And so a lot of people just don't know what to do and where to turn to, what kind of professional can help me. And so it's, I feel like it's my passion, besides, running out in the desert for fun and and getting lost on an adventure. It's,
Right.
And when I get hurt myself going out on these adventures, I'm like, all right, I got to treat myself. And
Do you get a lot of people that come to you like, hey, help me out, on the low, for free instead of coming in?
I do, yeah. I have some, friends. Sometimes they show up at my door. They're like, "Hey, my knee hurts. You got to fix me." And I'm
Fix
like,
me,
"All right,
yeah.
cool, man. Come on in. I have a massage table in my house, and I'll, let them come in. I'll work on them." So I tell people anytime at, whether it's day, at night, anytime, I'll help you out. So.
How does that work in the military? Because you just said, they wanted to give you some pills. Are there physical therapists in the military?
There are actually physical therapists in the military, but kind of like out in the civilian world. Sometimes you're going to find healthcare professionals that can kind of point you in the right direction. Hey, why don't you go go get some care with some PT, go get some acupuncture, go find a chiropractor. And then some practitioners are just kind of like, hey, all right, here's some ibuprofen, here's some medication, just take this, that'll help you with your inflammation. sometimes that does help. I'm not saying that's not going to help. It's just we have to figure out how to move better, and that's going to help us get to the root of the problem, like Beja said.
Right.
So we got to find, we got to get our spine in better alignment, and we got to get proper stability with muscles, getting the right muscles working properly, and that's going to help decrease, the impingement and going to decrease the pressure on the discs in our back or neck. And so we have to figure out how to, get our body moving in the proper positions and engaging the right muscles, and that's going to help to get pressure off those areas that are causing the pain. So
here's a good question for you. So like out here, it just seems like every day everyone's in an accident. So everyone's in a car accident, and it just seems, there's all these lawyer billboards in general. And I think in other states, like a lot of people, like they call for some reason, and correct me where I'm wrong, is that a lot of people, when they get into an accident, they go to a chiropractor right away. So I know other states are differently, and maybe the advertising dollar is different in every state. I mean, do people get into an accident like, you know what, I need to go to my physical therapist? Or is it, why are they going to the chiropractor first? Or is it just because the people are spending money and that's what I think?
I love
like
how
if you
you said chiropractors.
What did I say? Chiropractors. My New York accent's going. So I guess my question is,
physical therapy,
what's the difference between these chiropractors and physical therapists, and
Yes.
who should you be going to first
That's
if you get
important.
into an accident or just injure your back? Like, what
question.
makes the difference? And right, would you say that you're probably even though you've
I
been
would be
involved in-
confused. What's a chiropractor? What's a physical therapist?
or when you should go to either
When
one?
I think of chiropractor, I think of what 2.5 Men, right? Alan was a chiropractor. You didn't watch that show? Dave don't watch it. I don't think Dave watches TV. I don't think he watches TV. He doesn't watch sports.
I only watch the problem solver.
Yeah, I
I
honestly
literally get
I'm
emails
I
at
binge.
like 2, 3, 4. I'm like,
this
dude,
guy
do you
will
sleep?
Yeah, he'll text you at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're thinking, what is he doing at 4 o'clock in the morning?
The problem solver is solving problems
He's-
24 hours a day,
This
7
is
days a
his
week.
in
life.
his sleep, he's trying to solve
Yes.
problems. So
Oh my God.
good for him. This is
He's
his life.
dreaming of some problem
It's really not me.
solving.
It's my virtual reality and the metaverse that's actually doing that. The problem solver actually has an NFT now in the metaverse. Do you know what that
Oh
means?
my.
I'm joking.
Wow.
I'm just using some of my friend John Orlando's phrases in regards. There actually should be a problem solver metaverse that's actually, while we sleep, it's solving problems. And there's a podcast and show taking place. Anyway, that's probably, I have to
That's
work on
funny.
that. I just came up with that one. All right, so tell us.
So back to your
Yes.
question. Yeah, it's a great question. A
Difference.
lot of people ask me that. So there is some crossover, some similarities with chiropractors do versus physical therapists. A lot of people, think of a chiropractor as like, okay, they're going to crack my back or crack my neck. And so those things definitely can help, after an injury. Physical therapists can also do adjustments, mobilizations. There's a lot of different terms that you'll hear people use. A lot of times people think of that like, okay, you get a pop or a crack in your back or neck when they do these adjustments or manipulations or mobilizations. So physical therapists can do that. Chiropractors do that. Most chiropractors will typically focus on just like the spine, the back, and the neck. Therapists, besides just doing the spine, will work on extremities like knee, ankle, foot, also shoulder, elbow, hand. And so we do the spine as well. And so we do a lot of different areas.
So more full body.
I do know some chiropractors that also work on extremities, but they typically focus more on more kind of passive type treatment. Physical therapy will work more on like stretching, strengthening, posture type training. So we're more active type, focus with our rehabilitation, whereas like chiropractors will do a little bit more with like passive. And so, and both areas are very helpful for people. So a lot of times, there's in every medical profession, you have, good practitioners and practitioners that don't give a what. So one of the main keys is finding someone who's going to take time. They're going to talk to you, find out, okay, what happened with your injury? What happened, where's your pain at? And so they get a better idea of what's going on. And, some people will come in and they'll tell me like, from their big toe all the way up to their ear hurts, and everywhere in between. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's focus on a couple different areas. We can't treat your whole body at once. So let's just start focusing on the worst areas, and then we can kind of move around. And so sometimes people will get both chiropractic and physical therapy at the same time. So sometimes, the chiropractors will focus on the neck or back, and then they'll also have knee or shoulder pain.
Right.
And so they'll come in a day or two a week for physical therapy, and we'll focus on the extremities, and the chiros will work more on the neck and back. Sometimes people will go for, a month, 2-3 months with their chiropractic care. They get some good relief with that. Their neck back's feeling better, but then they need to get, more rehabilitation, more like stretching, stabilization.
Right.
And so we'll work more on that with a more movement type therapy. So.
And that's my problem. Okay, so here we are, the problem solver. So being in the marketing field for about 5 years now, I don't see why chiros and PTs don't really work together as much as they should. I feel like you guys go hand in hand. You guys can really work together. Again, being out marketing, there's some equipment that PT has that, chiro doesn't have. And like you said, some of these chiros will have that equipment so they can help with certain modalities or whatever other than just spine, neck, and back. But I just really feel that there's just a miscommunication, a little barrier there that you guys can just really work together to help the patient.
Yeah, no, it's true. A lot of not that there's a division between chiropractors and physical
Right.
therapists, but sometimes there is a little bit of that mentality where it's like, oh, well, we don't want to,
They think
share
it's
our
one thing
business, or
and
we don't
another.
want to give our client to, the therapists don't want to give their clients to chiropractors or vice versa. Whereas like Beja said, they're really both, parties can actually help. And so
Yeah.
there really needs to be more cooperation and working together, and so I can be like, hey, I'm going to focus on this. I'm helping with that. And I can have, chiropractor focus on this. And so
Right.
then, they can get the best of both worlds.
Like
And-
as far as the chiro just adjusting the neck, they don't understand that, everything upper body affects our shoulders, our arms, our hands. We're a system.
Yeah, I know
It all works
exactly.
together.
Everything's a chain. It's all connected. So,
Right.
I mean, sometimes people come in and they're like, my pinky finger and my ring finger hurt. And, I've even had some people where they get, a carpal tunnel surgery. And actually the problem was actually in their neck. Their nerve roots in their neck
They
were
didn't
getting
even
pinched.
need the surgery.
They didn't even need the carpal tunnel surgery. And the problem was coming from
That's supposed to be last resort.
Yeah, and the nerves were getting pinched in the neck, and they do the MRI in the neck, and they found out, that's why they're getting the hand pain. And so everything is a chain, and so sometimes we got to work on, the spine to also, help out the shoulder, elbow, hand problem. Same thing with the lower back and also the legs. So sometimes you can get foot or knee problems, and it's coming from the back.
Right.
So it can get a little tricky as far as like sometimes people are like, oh, my hamstring, I got this hamstring strain. And then when I do an assessment, I'm looking at their back as well. And like, why are you messing with my back? And I'm like, well, I have to check your back out because the back can refer pain to anywhere in your leg. So
HIPAA compliant, of course, but can you tell us of a time that you dealt with a patient and they thought that, it was their foot, or I don't know, their hand, and you had to explain that it was something else. And as soon as you treated that, you had, their issues were resolved because, I've seen, I actually known you for a little while. I've known Brady for a little bit. I just want to hear, and for our viewers to hear one of those success stories, because I don't think people really know that one, they don't know that the root of the problem can really change so much that's going on in their bodies.
Yeah, you want to share a success story that's a major story?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have a couple.
We'll call
good
her
stories
Karen.
I can share. Yeah.
Tell us
The
about
best
Karen.
one.
Yes, there was this lady that was. This is when I,
What's her name, Karen?
several years ago. I don't think it was Karen, but she wasn't. She wasn't like a Karen, but but it was this lady. She'd been having pain and in her foot for a while. I think a year or two, and so we did her assessment. She hadn't done physical therapy before, so we checked out her foot and everything, and then we were, took her back through some movements, and we saw there were some radicular type symptoms. So radiculopathy and radicular symptoms means it's like a referred pain, so it's coming from, like typically the spine. And so we started doing some work on her back, and she was like, "What are you doing? Why are you messing with my back? This is a foot problem." And so I explained to her, "Hey, you know what? Like, I know your foot hurts, okay, but this is how the spine works. You have nerve roots that come out of your back, and they can refer pain anywhere from your hip, your thigh, your knee, your calf, all the way down to your foot, and even your big toe." And so we said, we need to do some work on your back. And so we started working on trying to get pressure off the nerves in her back. We were doing some traction, which is, a technique we do to try to get pressure off the disc in the back. And so she started, even though she kind of argued with us for several visits, I was like, hey, just
didn't believe you.
let us do our treatment. Give me some time, all right? Like, you gotta see if, this is gonna work. So after, 3 or 4 weeks, she started to just, her pain was like cut in half. She was only down to like 1 or 2 out of 10 type pain. So very minimal type pain. And so, after I think 6 to 8 weeks, she was pretty much like pain free. And even though she didn't like us at first, and she was a little upset, she was patient, and she gave us some time, and we got her foot pain all the way better. Also, there was another guy, we were working on his back, and it was probably 6-8 weeks we'd been doing some work on his back, and he just wasn't getting that much help. So we took him through different movements. So we had him bend down, touch your toes, let's see you squat, let's check out your shoulder movement. So we'll check out lots of different areas of the body besides just the area that hurts. And kind of like I said, the body is like everything's connected like a chain. So we found out this guy had limited like foot movement. He couldn't lift his foot up very far on one side compared to the other side. So we started working on him getting his foot movement better, lifting it up. And so we fixed this foot problem. All of a sudden, after like 4 to 6 visits, he was like, hey, my back pain is like gone. It's all the way better. And so that story itself kind of helps us understand, like, hey, just because you feel pain in one area, there could be another area that's actually the problem. And so because his foot movement wasn't where it should have been, he didn't have, if you don't have good alignment in your foot and your knee, that can affect your back, your neck, your shoulder, all the way up. And so
you're not walking, you're not even just enjoying life at the time. You're in pain. I mean, it just affects your daily life.
Yeah, exactly. And so sometimes it's a little bit tricky because we got to look at the body as a whole. We can't just be like, all right, this is the area that hurts. Right. Let's just jump on in there and work on that area. And that does help a lot. That's the fix sometimes for a lot of people. But sometimes we got to be like, hey, let's check out some other things. There's probably something else related here and probably contributing to this. What you
Were any of those success stories, had those patients been in an accident?
They were not in accidents. Yeah.
Okay.
They were not.
But you do treat a lot. Because I know there's plenty of success stories with people that have been in accidents. You're not the same after you get injured.
Yeah. So we treat a lot of people that have had accidents, and typically at first, I tell people the first few weeks, 2, 3, 4, sometimes up to 6 weeks, you're going to have a lot of inflammation. Typically, especially in your neck and back, you had a whiplash type injury. And so when you have inflammation on the, the joints in your neck or back, also, get strains, the muscles are really tight, your muscles guard. When you get hurt, your muscles are just tightening up, even though that isn't necessarily the primary problem of what was injured. The muscles were tightened up because they're like, your muscles are trying to protect your body.
Sure.
So they're like guarding your body, trying to keep you from getting hurt anymore.
Right.
And
I just feel like people lose patience. They just think that they're not going to get better, and they don't know how much time it actually requires. When you get injured like that.
It takes I tell people the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, you may still be in the same amount of pain. I said, we just need to keep your body moving, keep it from getting stiff. We're not going to give you we're not going to make you do planks for 5 minutes and have you do some.
It's not a gym.
Jumping jacks.
But they kind of give up, if they're
crazy
having a
stuff
diet,
at first.
going to the gym.
So part of that is I just have to educate them and tell them, hey, this is a process. We got to get that inflammation down. Once the inflammation comes down, you'll be able to start moving better. But we got to keep things loose and get some of that stiffness out at first.
I'm a bad patient, doctor. So
you're one of those that just jump
ship. You cuss people out, Kenny?
No, I don't curse people out, but I just don't listen. And I'll tell you my story. I was, I'm going to say about 8 or 9 years ago, my son, I'm in my 40s, right? At that time, my son calls me, and he's in college. And he says to me, we're playing football. Do you want to come and play football? We're short guys. So me, a 40-some-year-old guy, I go play with 20-some-year-old kids football, right? So long story short, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. As you know, I talked to you before the podcast about it. When one of these guys get a pulled hamstring, I flip out. I'm like, they better play next week. They could play with a pulled hamstring. And I scream, they're getting paid $1 million a year. They could play with a pulled hamstring.
I feel like that's a guy's thing. You're supposed to be tough no matter what.
I was wrong, Beja. I was wrong about these pulled hamstrings.
Let's talk about it.
I never pulled a hamstring before in my life. I'm running. I catch the ball. My son's guarding me, of course. I catch the ball, and I start running towards the end zone. And, of course, I don't want my son to catch me. I want to outrun him. So I'm running. Next thing, doctor, I feel a pull in my leg that I never felt before, extreme pain. And I think my son thinks I'm kidding. I think he thinks
He's
that.
Laughing at you.
Yeah, I think he thinks because I went, I screamed.
I heard that was painful.
Yes.
He's like, the old man got hurt.
He's thinking that I'm just slowing down.
Talking all that shit.
Catch me. He couldn't catch me. Instead, he pushes me. So I even pull it even worse. So I'm telling you, I could barely, Dave, I'm telling you, I could barely
Sounds like a
walk in
personal
this.
Were you
Love
guys
suit.
playing tackle football?
Sounds like
We
a
were only
vendetta.
playing tag.
Oh, you're playing tag. Did
Yes.
you get a touchdown on the play?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So they're starting to call me all kind of names. You could continue to play. We won't have enough guys. So I play with this. I mean, and I was like seriously hurt,
You
right?
didn't want to lose your man card.
Yes. So I go back, and the girl I'm dating at the time, she calls me, right? And she says to me, I said, man, I really pulled my hamstring. Sure, it's not tore or anything. And I said, well, how do you know? She goes, it'd be all black and blue in the back of your leg. And I'm like, my God, this was like the next day. I'm thinking, I didn't check. So I go in the bathroom, I pull my pants
You
down,
look
I
at
look
your
in
ass.
the mirror, and it is black and blue from the top of my ass cheek all the way down.
All the way down
Honestly,
to
a
your
past.
back of your knee?
Yes.
Wow.
I thought, oh my God, my leg's going to fall off. Honest to God, that's how bad it looked. I mean, it looked as dark as this cup, right? So I go to the doctor. I'm sorry, this story's long.
Can we zoom in? People in the back.
I go to the doctor, and he tells me I have to go to physical therapy. He's telling me you can't do surgery because it's like spaghetti. It's hard to, you're. So he sets this up with the physical. I never go.
You never went. Okay,
never
you're,
went.
you're one
Danny.
of those patients.
Yes, I never
I'm gonna
went.
fix this on my own. I'm gonna watch YouTube videos and fix myself.
And like 3 months later, I start playing softball. I pull it again. I can't play softball the rest of the year because I didn't do it. It kept hurting. And long story short, since I didn't go to physical therapy, I didn't feel good for about 2 years.
Did you end up going?
Never went. And I get sometimes when I play sports, like, because I still play sports, I still, go out and do stuff.
It bothers
I can feel
you.
that. Yeah,
It
I can
bothers
still
you.
feel it every once in a while.
See, the goal is, and with any kind of treatment,
Yeah.
is to get you, if you can't get back to 100%, at least as close as
Yes.
to 100% than when you injured yourself, like how you felt before that.
Right.
And that's what people need to understand.
You're probably sick of patients like me.
No,
and usually it's men,
no,
right? Men are the
no.
worst.
Don't lie. Don't lie, Brady. You can be frustrated
I'm not sick of people
here.
like him
It's a
because
safe space.
I've been like him myself.
Okay.
When you played sports, you're kind of like, okay, I'm tough. I can handle this. I can get over this. This is why
sports
women live longer than men. Okay.
Yes.
Women seek medical care
Yes.
and they take care of their bodies better, whereas guys are just kind of like, we won't go in when we're sick, when we get hurt. We're just like,
We'll get a
Tough it
chest pain
out.
and say, it'll go away.
I can suck
This
it up.
chest pain's going away.
We complain, to our significant others,
Yes.
partners, wives, girlfriends, or whatever.
Yeah.
But we don't want to go get any treatment. And so this is, whenever I have a patient and they're like, my, husband, or even
that shit.
women will do it sometimes as well.
Yeah.
They don't want to come in. And I said, here's what you tell them. You tell them, I do not want to hear any of your complaints unless you go and get that checked out and get treated. I don't want to hear anything about your pain.
Women, this is the
So-
only time I will say, listen to what a man says, okay?
That's right, yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, men, the other way around, I meant.
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry. Men, listen to what
Women say.
Listen to
Can
the
we
women
blurt
say.
that out?
It can go either way, yeah.
it can though, seriously. But yes, literally, go get treatment.
We don't do it.
They're
though.
not here
Men
for
don't do
nothing.
that. Men wait till we're ready to die. When we're ready to die, we'll go to the doctor.
Yeah,
here's a
my
question.
grandpa.
We will.
My grandpa died of prostate cancer because he was too proud and go get his,
doctor.
Right.
his medical
Yeah.
checkups, and so it even affects besides just
understand.
musculoskeletal, like injuries, other stuff too. We just don't go get stuff checked out, and this is why.
Here's a question. So
Women live
even though
longer.
it happened to him a long time ago, if it's still, can you still do physical therapy even though it happened years late? Years ago, the incident, will it still help the physical therapy?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you could still
so
eventually
even
go.
though he's not having pain now, like if he came into my office, I would take a look at him and be like, hey, let's check out your back. We're gonna check out. Obviously, we'd look at his hip strength, his hamstring flexibility. We're gonna check out glute strength. Typically, a lot of times, even with hamstring issues, the hamstrings are overactive muscles. So I mean, they're like,
I think we
in the house, the moms do all the work around the house. The hamstrings are like the moms, okay, and everybody else they're big slackers, all right? So the one that does all the work eventually just wears out, okay? That's like the hamstring. So even though it's not hurting you right now, down the road it's going to start acting up, getting
I'm
angry
sure.
again.
Yeah.
And so we have to get other muscles like stronger, like the glutes, especially like you have different glute muscles. Those are like your back and your hamstrings and your knee's best friend.
So how does it
we'd
work?
go
If
in
we bring him down, you can do an evaluation?
Yeah. So
Okay.
we'd get him.
We're gonna do that.
We would check out his flexibility,
bring
even
the
like
cameras.
even like we would look at his knee position. Yeah, we could do this like for a show sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just-
That
That'd be
makes
cool.
me feel a type
Yeah,
of
that'd
way
be fun.
because
That-
I actually
I do that. No problem.
read an article that big booty women are like they're super healthy, and I'm not like.
What?
But my thing is like
I didn't hear that.
My thing is like booty little but a jiggle.
I think God heard
But-
that though.
No, but you just heard him say glutes is super important.
Glutes,
Hips.
the J-Lo.
There you
J-Lo has something figured out, all right? So I always tell
Don't
everyone.
attack me. I was being vulnerable right
No,
now.
I'm not attacking you, but I'm saying, the glutes, the butt, that's where it's at. That is going to save your knee.
That's where it's at.
That is going to save your knee and your back. So
Why is that? I'm confused. He's saying that it offsets you or something?
Well, like I was talking about, like with his issue, with the hamstring issue, like the hamstrings are really like overactive. They're doing all the work. Is typically glutes are weak. All right, and no acetol syndrome. Okay,
Right.
What
your butt's not
the
doing
what? The who?
the no acetol syndrome. All right, that's when your glutes, your butt's not
No
working.
acid. No acid.
The no acetol syndrome. Yeah, all right. So that means
I still have the blonde in my hair. I'm sorry.
that's all right. We don't see any blonde in there right now. So, but anyways, yeah. So we need to get the glutes working better. So we need to get the Van Damme, the J-Lo. That's we got to get everybody working. Looking like them a little bit more.
Doc, I got one more question for you, and it's me and Dave's profession. The biggest problem in me and Dave's profession is wearing that gun belt. And I oh my gosh, I don't know how many cops, I would say 10 in my career, and I was a cop 27 years, that had to have surgery or stop wearing their gun belt. They had to get permission for this because it infected their sciatic nerve, right? Am I saying that right? Sciatic? Am I saying
Sciatic.
Sciatic.
Yeah, sciatic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was the biggest thing. I mean, I had at least I know 3 cops that had to get surgery from it. I'm just wearing that gun belt.
Well,
That
these
gun
days,
belt causes
with
pressure.
police officers, they have this new thing where basically
Yes.
your shoulders hold the actual weight of the belt,
It's more
which
of a
we didn't
harness
have that.
now
Yes.
instead of the belt. Yeah, that's a lot better.
It's pressure. It's a lot.
Yeah,
Actually-
so that's any kind of pressure,
I
backpack.
held a baby on my back for a while.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's for
mama.
Yeah, for 9 months you had to carry that baby around and funny.
And after, for a while, it was always pick me up.
yeah,
And
you
I'm like,
were carrying her around, and your back.
somebody
loved you for
actually
that.
told me that they didn't even know I was a mom, but they actually told me that they knew that I was because I stood a certain way, like, oh, you probably carried your baby on one side too much or something. I'm like, are you a doctor?
Yeah, you're like,
Like
how do you
that,
know?
like-
Why are you looking at me like
Like that, yeah.
Why are you diagnosing me? Yeah. But like back to your what you were saying, typically carrying around backpacks, like belts, like even the military. When I was overseas, we had 30 pounds of body armor we're carrying around, and I always joke around with my wife. I was like, I know what it's like to be pregnant because I had body armor on for a year, and she was like, yeah, you could take yours off at night and sleep, couldn't you? And I was like, okay, you got me there. Beija's not happy with me now.
At all.
I'm going to be honest with you. I hated the body armor. Did you?
I mean, none of it's fun stuff. I mean, I think it definitely affected my back or my, in general. I mean, I wore it
Did
for
they used to
17 years.
check you to make sure you're wearing it? Because I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest with you, there was times I didn't wear it.
We don't even like our
Yeah.
purses, but we have to have a nice handbag.
They would
Yeah.
check you by hitting your back.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Yeah, so-
I was nervous not to wear it because I wanted to live, right? God forbid
Right.
something happened that day. But there were certain people like in NYPD, they would actually touch you.
To make sure you're wearing
They
it.
would come up to you,
Yeah.
which these days they probably can't really get away with it per se, but they would just touch your shoulder
Yeah.
just to see if you're wearing the vest in general.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
I would say I wore it 50% of the time. That's how bad I was. I was a detective, though. So I would keep it by my desk in case something bad happened and I'd grab it on my way out. But I never wore it when I was a
In
detective.
Pennsylvania, there's really no
gotcha.
crime there, so like you didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, you could walk around the streets of Philly
Light-
at 1 in the
light
morning,
work.
right?
Yeah.
Nothing
He
to worry
did-
about.
he
Like
did
once in a
light
while, there
work.
was like a cow that did something bad
Tipped over.
to like a deer. So he was always like policing the deer and the cows up in Pennsylvania.
We had a lot of loud music complaints. A lot of
Yeah.
loud music.
Loud music from the animals.
See, he's doing this because I showed him. I'm moving, so I showed him all these awards that I won being a cop. Did you see them, Beige? I sent them to you. I don't think you looked at
No,
them.
I saw all your Boy
They
Scouts
usually sleep.
awards.
They were calling them Boy Scout awards yesterday.
Oh wow.
He's got a lot of awards.
No,
he's like
he did
Well, he's
great.
military. That's a real.
He went
that's a
down the
real-
That's a
yellow.
real award,
He went
right?
down. He went down the yellow brick road.
Yes.
Yeah.
As he was moving, basically, he's finding all these old certificates of where he saved animals up in
Oh, wow.
Pennsylvania, and so he was.
I think the
unique?
one award was for catching 3 bank robbers. But who's to say?
But
So
it was
other than me thinking highly of you, my mom would be like, "Oh my gosh, animals! Like you did so well."
So anyway, a lot of certificates. But one of the jokes is with cops is that when you get these awards, most cops would say like, "That's your job. Like, why are you getting an award for your job?" So I was just messing with it because that's a kind of a cop thing.
Yeah,
But
you
the
don't get a
truth-
cookie for that. You don't get a donut for that.
But the truth of
true.
the matter is, the real reward is someone that's military like yourself going to like getting shot at in Iraq or Afghanistan,
Right.
in general. Where were you at? Again?
Yeah, I was over in Iraq,
Yeah.
in Western Iraq.
I mean, that deserves
in,
it.
in Ramadi. So I wasn't, hanging out in the green zone
Right.
in Baghdad. If you talk to people in Iraq and they were hanging out in the green zone and in in Baghdad, they were having Taco Bell and Pizza Hut, where over in the Western Iraq, we were
You
getting
didn't get that.
we were getting rocket attacks and mortared.
Couldn't even imagine.
And we'd go to these other bases, that were really nice.
Eating
Like, oh, you
tuna
guys got
out
it
of
nice
the
here, man. This is like, you guys are living it up, man. Like, we're out there, like, with
Guys got like Taco Bell coming down from his face.
yeah, we had no paved roads. We had no Taco Bell Pizza Huts. And so, like, the first time I had those, when I went home after, like, 6 months, they gave us, like, a 2-week leave. I was like, this is, like, I was in heaven.
Right.
Honestly,
Just eating
Dr.
fast
Brady,
food,
side note, and I'm so sorry for interrupting, but I really have to say this. I know a lot of people just experiencing that get a lot of PTSD. I mean, you move forward, you saw that you could do something to help other people, and you did it, and now you're doing PT, so that's great.
Yeah, and that's I have a lot of like patients that are like military as well. Like we get a lot of patients from Nellis Air Force Base or former military people, and so it's fun. It's kind of my way of giving back because like I was in the military,
Right.
I know what it's like, and I know sometimes they don't get you a lot of care. The military is awesome. Like they're trying to get better. VA's trying to get better care for people, but there's still a lot of things lacking. And so I really love to give back to the community, especially military.
How does it work? Because the new VA that they have, which is a beautiful building, I'm assuming there's physical therapists there, right?
Yeah, they do have PT.
So why would
there.
people come to you in regards to that?
And
Because
you're on a waiting list for like 2 months to get in there and see the
Okay.
physical
And also
therapist.
insurances, right? Like
Yeah.
insurance. Well, no,
Yeah, so I
because
mean,
military is TRICARE.
anyone former like military,
Former,
they can
okay,
use VA, and they have like PTs on the base as well. The problem is they're very short staffed.
And you guys accept TRICARE.
Yeah. So we accept TRICARE, and so
they don't have to go to the VA. They also can go to you.
Yeah,
Right.
and so the VA, they're way understaffed. People have to wait a long time. Like sometimes people they're coming in only 1 day a week or every other week just because like they're trying to get people to care, but they don't have enough staff there. And so I'm like, hey, like, it's hard to break in and talk to the right people, at the base and the VA to let them know, hey, like, I can help these guys. And I was a former military person.
Right.
I know what they got to do for their PT tests. I know what they're going through, like what they've gone through overseas. I've been there, done that. So I know what kind of things I can help them out. And when they talk to somebody who can understand that, I think it makes a big difference for them. And so, yes, I mean, we treat people with lots of different types of injuries, people, that have.
Or even all walks of life. You guys do pediatric, like if your kids get hurt playing soccer. I remember being in one of your clinics one day, and so cute. Anyway, little kid was like, I don't even know if I'm going to play soccer anymore, And then next thing you know, I'm like, hey, whatever happened to that kid? And he's playing soccer again.
That's
Yeah. So we get we get kids in like school age, they're like, hey, I'm trying to get back into wrestling. I'm trying to play soccer again.
Right.
They messed up their hamstring. They chose to get treatment. Sorry, I'm just kidding. Not calling anybody
Whoa,
out. but,
shots fired. Can we have can you do like the background noise,
Yeah,
like boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
we need a little
boom?
noise for shots fired. There we go.
Thank you.
Tell me tell me where your offices are, and tell me, do you do like for people that need like a consultation? Do you free consultations? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have offices on Southwest, Russell, 215 Fort Apache, and then also up in Northeast Las Vegas and North Las Vegas by, Lake Mead Civic Center.
Okay.
So we take, most insurances, anyone that's had an accident, they can call us, if they...
What about workers' compensation? You do that?
Yeah,
too?
we do workers' comp as well. So anybody's had a work injury. A lot of times you have to, talk to the attorney, talk to the adjuster. The adjuster directs where all the care goes for work comp. So if you can get your adjuster to, get them sent over to us, we definitely help people out with work injuries. Cool. Accidents, call us, and a lot of times we can get you in, take a look at you and get you some treatment. And so we try to get people in as soon as possible after they get hurt. So you're not sitting around waiting for, 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Sometimes the primary doctors or other places, they get really backed up. And so you don't have to see a doctor. You don't have to have gone to urgent care or hospital. We can get you in like pretty quick. I tell people, hey, within like 48 hours, we're calling you, we're getting you an appointment in. So sometimes, I'll stay, 5 to 5:30, last appointment of the day, I'll get somebody in if I need to. So
let me recap so very carefully, because I'll share something with you that's kind of interesting. When I think of physical therapy and chiropractors, if I had to think of 100 people in a room that are chiros and physical therapy in Vegas, I would say 80 of them are chiros and 20 of them are physical therapy. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So I'm basically saying 20%.
That's probably pretty close on your numbers.
So if there's a map of Vegas and there's chiros and physical therapy all the way around, 20% would be physical therapy?
Yeah, it's probably,
Okay.
yeah.
So I get into an
quarter.
accident today, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, now I'm talking with you, like a good relationship with you. Like, I'm gonna go directly to the physical therapist. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, totally okay. Uh-huh.
So what would be the difference in your eyes, because you're a physical therapist, because the physical therapist can say, yeah, come see me. If you were a chiro here today, you would like, come to the chiro. What would be the difference in regards to the evaluation from the chiro and the physical therapy? Because you're both doctors. One's for physical therapy, one's for chiropractic treatment.
I'm gonna make a guess. I'm not a doctor, but radiculopathy, right? Those kind of injuries, right?
Well, I mean, both could.
I mean, you both are doing
could treat
evaluations, right?
radiculopathy. The difference would be is that, we're movement specialists and short of physical therapists. So we're going to get you moving and stretching and strengthening, okay? Even though we're not going to have you do really hard things and do really difficult things, we're going to get you moving from day one. The chiropractors will do more passive type treatment. And so some people want to do a little bit more from the get-go. Some people kind of just need a little bit more time to go, to start moving and getting into, getting their range of motion, getting some stretching. And so it's a case-by-case basis, depending on what somebody, can do. Whether, you might get a, 78-year-old person that's, they've been, mostly, bed bound, only can do a little bit of walking. And so our approach should be different with them versus somebody, who's, 16 or 18 that they may progress a little bit quicker. And so we're going to get them moving in day one, doing some stretching, as opposed to what the chiropractors are going to do. So we're going to, that's kind of the difference in philosophies. We're going to focus on movement, getting you moving better. And even besides just people that have had injuries, somebody who's, playing sports that got injured, or somebody who wants to prevent getting hurt. Like if you follow sports, like you see sometimes people get an Achilles tear, and they're out like a year from coming back. Well, there's things you could work on. We could look at and see, all right, let's look at the ankle, the foot, the knee, the hip, the back, and we can start identifying any possible problems that are going to, cause an injury later on. If you're doing the right, strengthening and focusing on the right exercises, we can catch things before there actually is an injury. So.
And I know that we brought up, accidents, work comp, and stuff like that. But I mean, what you're talking about right now is anything to avoid injury. Of course, there's people that have been bedridden for a long time, and just even getting up and starting from there. If you know that you're going to get a surgery, strengthening that certain, body part before you get the surgery and after is really great. It's not personal training though, right? I feel like a lot of people get confused. Like they think it's like the gym, like, oh, is this personal training? No, it's more rehabilitation. Can you get into that?
Yeah.
And how
a personal trainer, you're going to the gym, and they're just like, all right, we're going to, work on your strengthening. They're going to get you, try to look, help your physique, get you looking like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, maybe, J-Lo, whoever else you want to be, Cindy Crawford, she's looking
I feel
pretty
like that
good as
was
she's
an
getting
attack,
older.
but whatever.
No, there was no reference to Beja, all right? Like,
It's okay. Go ahead. Talk about it.
So we're not just going to be like, hey, we're going to just, give you general strengthening. We're going to look at your specific, movement problems or tightness, stiffness. And so we can start, getting you doing specific stretches as opposed to just generally strengthening. That's what a personal trainer is going to do.
Right.
We're going to we're going to identify the problem. How are you what are the improper movements? Where's the issue at? Let's get to that so we can, prevent any problems down the road. And, typically if you have pain or you're injured, you're not going to go to a personal trainer, okay? They're going to get you stronger. Sometimes people with shoulder pain, they tell me this all the time, people that have shoulder issues, they're like, I just went in, I just started doing overhead military presses, bench presses, and my shoulder wasn't getting any better. And I'm like, yeah, because you were just
You just put more.
You were strengthening your deltoids, and you neglected a lot of these muscles that stabilize your shoulder. You got impingement in your shoulder with rotator cuff problems. And so when you just start strengthening the deltoids, you're going to get your balance is out of whack on your shoulder.
Where's the root of the problem? The deltoids?
So the deltoids are overactive, kind of like, a little bit with kind of the hamstring issue we were talking about.
How do you fix that?
The deltoids are overactive, so they're just pinching your shoulder every time you're lifting your arm up. And so you're just causing more problems and more pinching when you just start doing overhead presses and benching. Not that you can't do those things, you have to get the pain down. What we do with people, there's a very specific type exercise progression from the get-go. And if you start strengthening the wrong muscles from the beginning, you're just going to pinch everything and your shoulder's going to
Set
get worse.
yourself up to get
So we have to
injured.
get the other muscles working better so that the deltoids aren't too strong, and then that's going to create more space in the shoulder. So then when you're doing any like overhead type movement, strengthening, and then you're going to start, getting rid of all that pain. And then I start working with people on all those movements, all the lifting at the gym that they want to do.
Because they see how it changes and they can feel the effectiveness.
You can't just
so
go
for
in and
all
just
of
start.
all of our viewers, it's not just if you get injured. If you have any kind of pain, you might want to see a physical therapist. And if you're in the Las Vegas area, they have 2 locations.
Beja, we have a new segment, and it's time for the new segment.
Are you prepared? Put your seatbelt
Are you
on.
prepared?
Not really, because I have questions. Is this like a separate segment?
Yeah, it's our new questions. Get to know the guest better. We're all gonna.
Nice.
Can you? I just have questions on my posture. Am I doing okay?
Hey, your posture actually looks good. I can tell you're working on it.
Thank you.
We can get
Yeah.
tutoring
You
set
can
up
tell
for
I'm
physical
working on
therapy.
it, but
Well, nobody has perfect posture. So, I mean, anyone that comes in tells me, oh, yeah, my posture is like really good. I'm like, you need help on your posture. All right. Nobody has perfect posture.
Yeah.
I'm old.
We all
starting to go down
slack.
already.
We all slack on it.
maybe I could look more like J-Lo if I stick my butt out. Is that okay for my
work,
back?
We could work on that.
Yeah,
Is that
you
okay
wa-
for my back?
Yeah. You want to try to keep your back a little curved and more up straight.
Is that okay though? Is that going to cause pain in any other area?
No, it's not going to cause more pain.
Ladies,
your back.
Arch that back.
It's
okay,
hard at
ladies?
first
Arch
when you're
that
driving,
back.
you're trying to get good posture, and you're like, oh, my back hurts. I'm working on my posture. I'm like, yeah, it's because you haven't been doing it. It's going to take some time. So, so arch that back. You can
And
tighten.
if it hurts, you might need some physical therapy.
Yeah, and you can tighten your glutes. Even just sitting here in this, like you can just squeeze your glutes.
Squeeze them.
So we can,
And that's going to help you strengthen the glutes.
I'm not doing that.
Back to our hamstring issue, we were talking about. Anytime, anywhere you can.
I feel uncomfortable doing that.
all right, so Danny's going to ask you a bunch of different questions. We're going to go down a few questions. We're going to do them like fast, a little bit like rapid.
Yeah,
speed.
this is real quick.
Rapid fired.
This is
All right.
ding ding ding.
I'm gonna go with the first question. You ready?
All right,
Let's do
this.
it like quick. We're going to move it forward quickly.
Okay.
Like rapid. speed.
What's
So
your
I'm-
favorite casino on the strip?
Let's go with Harris.
All right.
Next.
No, go ahead. I don't.
I love Ruth's Chris, so that's the one that I'm probably at the most. So I go there for Ruth's Chris.
Okay.
Awesome steakhouse.
All right. Question number 2. This is a big one. Okay. Now we live close to Area 51, right? By plane, we're probably there in a half hour. Did you see the UFO videos that they released, the U.S. government? Have you seen that?
I haven't seen any of those.
Okay, well, the government released UFO videos saying they absolutely don't know what this is. Absolutely 100%. Things are flying around. They have no idea what they are. Do you believe in UFOs?
I believe there's there's creatures, there's other life forms. Whether that was
I'm not saying
them,
green men,
or
right?
whether that was somebody just messing around with some videos,
Right.
and photoshopping. Who knows?
Are there any green men at Premier Physical Therapy or no?
No green men, but on St. Patrick's Day we'll.
All I
wear
know
some
is that
green.
on social media, I saw that they said you can try to get to that area if you want to, but we'll gun you down. Would you gun them down?
No, I would not gun them.
I've been to Area 51.
I would run.
I have been
Maybe
there.
I can jump over their fences and like.
We'll go 2 more questions.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go. Let's
and
go.
then
That's
we'll-
it.
well,
See if they
yeah.
could
on.
chase me.
Go ahead,
down.
Beige. You got a question?
No, go.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Go for your
All right.
questions.
What's your favorite casino game?
Not really a casino gamer, more of a video gamer.
Okay. Oh, what do you play?
More sports games, like
I'm the same way.
2K, FIFA. I don't play Fortnite much. My kids will play.
I'm the same way. I just play the sports games.
not as much first person shooter. I get
Yeah.
destroyed on those pretty fast.
Yeah.
But I mean they're fun. I play a little bit of Call of Duty, but I'd get destroyed pretty fast. But it's fun.
Cool.
So more sports, some strategy type games as well. So
Last question. What did you play sports in high school?
yeah, I played soccer in high school.
Awesome.
Wasn't that good. I was mostly the bench warmer, but you
played. That's all that matters.
You kept it
You were in
warm.
the game.
I played. I ran cross country, so that's kind of we talked about these crazy adventures running the desert. So I ran cross country in high school, so I was a little bit better in that versus the soccer. So yeah.
All right, so those are the questions. Any other questions? Quick questions?
One more? No.
Go for it. You got one more question?
Nope.
Good, okay. All right, so here's the story. I think we talked a bunch about a physical therapy in general. The bottom line is they can get with Dr. Brady. He's doing free, consultations. You can meet with him in general, 2 different locations, which is great in general. So the bottom line is that he's available if people want some help, if they're having some issues. I think we're going to take Danny down. We're going to use him as an example. We'll take some cameras and we're going to basically put him, we'll do like a test to see, his ability.
That would be fun.
It would be interesting
Danny.
since we work cops in general and then our backs and different things because of the
Good
wearing the
stuff.
vest and the belt and stuff. They definitely cause issues. I think I've had issues with it too. But anyway, so what we're going to do is this. One of the other segments is this. We recently have a new sponsor, which is called Movement Mortgage, which is 702-333-HOME. Erin, who basically is a mortgage agent through Movement Mortgage, we're going to do a quick Zoom call. She's going to, one of the things is to get like an update what's going on with real estate and mortgages, because it's kind of crazy right now. Every single week, it's like, do I sell my home? Do I buy a home? The interest rates are high and low. So we're going to basically do a quick call with, quick Zoom with Erin. Erin, are you in the Zoom room?
Hey, problem solvers. Just wanted to give you a quick real estate and lending update. We all know that the real estate market and interest rates have been affected by the current economy and world events. The economic data existing in home sales, which measures closings on existing homes, showed that sales were down 5.4% in June and at 5.12 annualized pace. This number was worse than expected, of 3.4% in decline. This likely measured the activity in April and May, including most of the rise in rates. Rates did peak in June, but have quieted down a little bit in July. On an over-year basis, sales are down 14% and inventory has increased about 10% from May to June, and now is at 2.4% annualized over a year's basis. The first-time home buyers have accounted for 30% of sales, which is up sharply 27% from the previous report, and cash buyers remained at 25% of the market, while investors purchased 16% of the market, which was steady. What does this all mean to you guys as home buyers and sellers? As rates rise, inflation creeps up, homes are staying in the market longer, and bringing down prices with an uptake in inventory, we are seeing a shift from a complete seller's market to more of a buyer's market. Homes that are priced well are selling fast. Now more than ever, buyers need to make sure that they are working with a well-qualified loan officer who has the knowledge and the ability to look at different options and creative ideas to get you the best purchasing power. If you know anyone that needs to buy, sell, or refinance a home, we can certainly help. Please call 702-333-HOME or email me at aaron.freemall@movement.com. Thank you guys for having me on today. I really appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
No problem, Erin. Thank you so much for joining us today. Erin actually got us the Movement Mortgage hat.
Listen, I love this hat. Thank you for the hat.
Like the camo. That's
First of
nice.
all, yes, and it's a good quality hat. So if the hat represents the company, I'm going with Movement Mortgage because this is the best hat I've had.
Actually, I even got a cup from Movement Mortgage from Erin. I stopped by there in general, talking with her. She actually helped me. Actually, Erin was a person that helped me buy my first home over by South Point, and so we actually just recapped it. But I know her now. Honestly, I think it's almost it's got to be over 15 years. But she did help me buy my first home. She actually helped some police officers I work with buy some homes as well. So anyway, Movement Mortgage 702-333-HOME. Basically, she's a new proud sponsor of the Problem Solver Show. I really like the hat. When I saw the hat, I was thinking of you as well.
I like the hat too.
We're gonna have to.
That's
We're gonna
a
have.
good-looking hat.
We're gonna have to get. Well, actually, that's a good hat for you too for military.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We're
like
gonna have
it.
to get some more hats, and then Beja, what would you like Erin to drop off for you? What are you looking for?
I love hats.
Like
Yeah.
hats?
No,
She
I
probably would look
literally
good in
Like when
a
you
hat
can
too.
put the ponytail in the back.
But I'm more like
baseball.
baseball. Yeah, like back in the days, I was like snapbacks. I'd wear it the other way, whatever. But no, I like that, or shirts, or even just like merch. So
Merchandise. Okay.
there you go.
You know, one thing I want to
You
share.
can find them on the no.
Travis, I'm not sure. Can you go to the Problem Solver Vegas and go to merchandise, because we did add. So one of the things
I knew it.
So Dr. Brady, one of the things that we all have some different sayings in general. So if you go to the Problem Solver Vegas and someone wants a shirt, what we'll do is we'll if someone wants a shirt in general, we'll get them a shirt. But normally
We'll make you a jingle
but
for
the shirt,
PPT,
the
for
shirt,
Premier Physical Therapy.
the shirt in general is we have different sayings. So Danny has a saying which is,
Let's go.
and then Beja's saying is,
Let's talk about it.
and then basically myself having the Problem Solver shirt. If we look it up, we can look it online in general, but you can actually the Problem Solver Vegas, and then you can click on merchandise. If you look on the screen over here and go to merchandise on the bottom, there are shirts basically available for sale, and we're donating money towards different nonprofits, and you can choose which nonprofit that you want to donate money to.
I am
First shirt-
predicting the Miracle shirt is going to be the highest seller.
So we have Let's
Just
Go
saying.
shirt. Let's talk about it. You see the
I'm
screen
still
here?
trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, but whatever.
And then basically we have different nonprofits. By the way, you guys, which we haven't spoke about, if there's different nonprofits that you want involved, money will also go towards the nonprofit of your choice. You can select it. So if you want to add different nonprofits that Danny and Beja may be more involved, on the bottom, if you click the button, it says, what does it say there, Travis, since you're our engineer?
Your favorite charity is St. Jude's American Cancer Society, Injured Police Officers Fund, and the Shine a Light Foundation.
And by the way, Shining Light Foundation's coming on next week, which actually they go down and help the homeless on the tunnels.
They're going to be here next week?
Yeah, I believe they'll be next week as well. So, but anyway, anyone wants a shirt, basically go to theproblemsolver.vegas, go to merchandise in general, see our different sayings. Each one has a different type of shirt. With that being said, I really appreciate, Dr. Brady coming on the show, talking about physical therapy. Again, sometimes some people, I think we've actually made it kind of interesting because we got to know you more. And I think the key is that if people know you, then they're more likely to use you, because I think people are afraid of doctors in general. Like, you may be some scary physical therapy doctor that who knows what they're going to do to me.
And again, being in the marketing field, there's it's kind of competitive when it comes to physical therapy, and there's a lot of other companies or clinics that have multiple locations. Even though we just have the two, you just have the two. I just know that it's more one-on-one personalized care, and I think people out, like when I hear people talking about it, they don't like that in and out kind of service. And we want to get to the, I keep saying we because I know you.
We're like family.
We're like family, yeah.
But we treat people like family. That's a good point, Beja, because when people come in, I know everybody's name. When somebody walks in my clinic, I'm like, hey, Joe, what's going on? What have you been up to? How's your how golf go on, on Sunday? I know everybody. I know what's going on with them. So we have that really friendly family.
Totally.
We have fun while we're doing treatment. Okay, it's not just you come in and you're staring at a boring picture on the wall, and
you're given just a list of exercises.
You got some robot doctor or chiro or PT coming in. We have fun while we're doing it. So we find out about you, and we want to get to know you, and we want to have some fun while we're helping you. So that's kind of the difference with what we do. So
absolutely, that's great stuff. So anyway, again, I really appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate Danny for co-hosting, and Beja. Again, I'm David Kohlmeier, the Problem Solver. Every single week, Thursday at 4:30, we go live here on Facebook and YouTube. And then Tuesday at 6 p.m. Channel 14, Cox Cable, is where we have, again, we're going to have Dr. Brady for that as well, where we are live to Cox subscribers, which is up to about 287,000 people. So again, I really appreciate everyone coming together. Hope people got some good information if they want to get with Dr. Brady. Again, Premier Physical Therapy. What's the main phone number of Premier Physical Therapy? We got it.
Yeah, so at our two locations at North Las Vegas, it's 586-5778. At our Southwest location, it's 798-4778. So both those numbers will be good for you.
Got it. You can just Google Premier Physical Therapy. Things will pop up in general. And then we'll also have them on the problemsolver.vegas. If someone has a problem, they can go there. The problem solver number, again, is 702-999-1111. If you have a problem, you need some help, whether someone basically, got arrested, accident, injured, they want to buy a home, they need help with the mortgage. As you can see, Movement Mortgage is basically helping a lot of the people from the Problem Solver. And that's where we have a network of the Problem Solver network to help people. And then again, if someone, God forbid, is homeless, military, veterans, we work with United Way 2-on-1 to basically help people. We don't want anyone to be on the street. So anything that we can do as the Problem Solvers, we're here to help people. Again, appreciate everyone being on the show today. And we'll see you guys next Thursday at 4:30. Have a great week and be safe.
Bye, y'all.